What's up, guys? Welcome back to Raw Calisthenics. We're now on episode number 13, and today I was hitting a back day with the focus on skill training as well. Started off the workout like I do most back days, just by hitting a few muscle ups to get loose and to get warm. And for the bulk of my workout, I did 4 sets of pull-ups with a superset of doing assisted front lever reps with the resistance band that you see behind me, right where my feet are. Then I went into doing a few attempts of the human flag, which was a little bit rough, and you'll see that in a few minutes. And then I did a few other variations for the front lever. Did them single-legged, tried to do a tucked front lever hold, but that was also rough. And I finished off the workout just doing chin-ups with a superset of doing bodyweight rows. But a majority of this workout was definitely rough for me, and it was one of those days where it felt like nothing was clicking. I felt heavier on the bar, couldn't really establish that mind-muscle connection, and as a result, it just got me second-guessing everything I've been doing, if I need to make any adjustments within my training plan, if I need to change my diet, if I'm not working hard enough, and the list goes on. But one thing that always happens when I have a day like this is I start to have a lot of self-doubt, and that's been an ongoing theme throughout my life, and I think that's been one of the biggest contributors to me not making progress in my life, because once you start to side with all of those thoughts and you start to believe it, is the moment that you stop making progress and you end up going backwards, because your mind is very powerful, and whatever you believe about yourself is going to manifest itself in the real world. So it's very important to free your mind of any self-limiting belief. And I know it's very hard to do so, but whenever you have a thought that isn't going to optimize your ability to do anything, you just can't give it any power. You can't give it any energy. But when I was thinking about everything that I could be changing or how I could improve to where I cannot allow this to happen again, it did occur to me that I feel as though I'm not working hard enough just in general when it comes to my training, but just throughout life. And there's certain things that I feel as though I need to implement to really stick to a process that guarantees progress. And I think there's certain things that I've been lacking that I need to implement. But just because you have one day where you're not making progress, it feels like you're going backwards. In the grand scheme of things, you're still making progress. It's just a part of the process to have days where you are struggling and it is hard. Because the way I see it is that if you're going through life and you feel as though like it's all laid out for you and you're not really going through any hardship, you're able to just kind of coast by, and you're not really going through anything hard on a daily basis and you're just kind of like existing, then you're not going to make any progress that way. Like, the harder your life is and the more struggle that you actually go through is going to lead to more and more progress. And the harder it is a good indicator that you're doing something right. And that can be applied to fitness or anything else that you're doing in life. But if you're in the gym and you're training, or if you're just doing outdoor calisthenics, if you're not going through the workout and like really giving it everything you have, then you can't expect to really get that much out of it. And this is the arena where you're supposed to really give everything you have, and I feel like I've kind of lacked that, and I've just been kind of going through the motions. But the more pain you go through and the more of a struggle there is going to lead to more and more success, more results, and more abundance just in general. And the more that you prove to yourself that you can do things you otherwise didn't think that you could do in the past, solidifies that, and it builds more confidence in you. It builds more of that belief that you need, so that whenever you have that self-doubt creeping in, you're able to just mitigate it and say, no, fuck that, I'm not going to allow that into my life. And I've been one that's always had a hard time, going through hard shit, and I feel like I've avoided it throughout the majority of my life, which has led to me being 29 years old and not really having direction until the last few months. But it's just very important to subject yourself to doing hard shit within fitness, outside of fitness, all the time just to ensure that you're going out of your comfort zone on a regular basis to make sure that you are going to grow as a result. And that's really the only way that you can do it. And you can still make progress without going through hard shit deliberately, but it's not going to be at the rate that you could be making progress if you actually had the willingness to put yourself through all of that to be able to get the result that you're looking for quicker. Because I've been able to make progress within me doing calisthenics when I was in the phase of my life in which I was doing a lot of partying and I wasn't solely focused on it. But I've made a lot more progress ever since I've been a lot more honed in on my craft and I've eliminated that side of my life. So to each their own. I mean, it's not like you have to just, live a sacrificial life in order to get to where you want to be, but if you're trying to really make a big change in your life, then it's going to take that much more effort, and you have to be willing to go through the shit in order to get there. And then that just begs the question of, why is it even necessary to go through the shit and to work hard every single day and to live a sacrificial life in which you're solely focused on becoming the best version of yourself? And to me, that can be broken down into being able to reach your genetic potential and just being able to see what you're actually capable of doing in this life. And that can be mental, that can be physical, but for me, it's I would say it's both, and also spiritual. I just want to see, with my character and my person who I am, and just being brought into this world, I have a yearning to know what I'm truly capable of doing, and I don't want to leave anything on the table when I leave this life. And I think it's really important to have that mindset, but for me, it's derived from having appreciation of even being brought into this world and the fact that there's life in general. And I'm just not in the state of mind to wanting to squander that and just allow it to pass me by and go through life in a mediocre fashion to where I'm not really applying myself and seeing what I can really create, what I can bring to the table. And so many people, myself included in many years past, are just okay with being average. And in my current mindset, I just can't even understand why someone would have that outlook towards life, because we're all capable of so much. And in order to really figure out what you're made of, you need to be willing to go through shit that most people are unwilling to do. And it's very important to realize what power you have, because once you do, or once you are able to fully channel that, then you'll be able to have more of an impact on the world, and you'll be able to serve people. You'll be able to have an impact towards other people and be able to inspire them through your own actions. But I think it's incredible that we are in a world in which we're in human form, which might sound weird the way I just worded that, but but we are humans, and I just want to see how I can sculpt my body, because we have all the freedom in the entire world to do as we please. And with said freedom, I want to see what or how great I can look, and what I can really build with my body. And I want to see what kind of impact I can have on people, on the world. And to allow fear or anything else hold you back from being able to accomplish that is just, it's very foolish in my eyes. And I know it's hard to just see through that and to be able to really just hone in on your craft when there's so much noise out in this world. But you just have to realize that we're not going to be here for a long time. And the moment that you just feel life slipping away and just feel as though time is really running out, creates all of that urgency that you need to live a life of purpose and to really figure out what your potential is and how you can meet that, how you can push yourself every day. Because right now I am fully healthy and there's really nothing holding me back. I have no excuse as to why I should not be pushing myself every day. Not everyone has the same opportunity that I have to be great and to really push myself in every single area. So for me to not push myself, I would view that as being selfish, because so many people would die to be in my shoes, to where I have every opportunity right there to maximize my character and to be at the best version of myself. And something can happen to me or to any of you guys at any time, and you just don't know what life is going to throw your way. But in order to be the most prepared to handle what life is going to throw at you, requires you to go through hard shit so that you're more prepared when that does happen, when shit hits the fan, because shit will hit the fan at some point in life, but it's all a matter of your ability to handle it and to manage it. But if you have a portfolio of you going through hard shit with your own volition, then when something does go a bit wrong in your life or something happens, then you'll be that much more prepared to go through whatever's necessary to go through. And I just think overall, as you know, what it means to be alive means to go through shit. Every other animal species that's on this planet, every form of life is always active, always doing shit. And, you know, life really is about survival, and that's the foundation of what it means to be alive, which includes going through hard stuff and not always being in a situation where you're always comfortable, because you might be trying to flee a predator, or you might be starving for a few days on end trying to find food. That's the basis of what it means to be alive. Yet here we are with devices in our hands to where we can just not even be attached to this world and just live in a virtual world half the time and be able to disassociate and not have to focus on what we need to. And it's just crazy, but that's a whole nother video. But I think that there's just a lot that we've yet to uncover about our potential, and you just cannot side with any self-doubt that you have, because the moment that you do, it's going to manifest into the world, and you just need to hold a high standard for yourself in order to get the most out of life and to really channel your energy and be able to subsequently have an impact, because we all can have a unique impact in this world. But tying that back all together, for me, you know, how I realized that I'm not pushing myself as hard as I can, I'm going to start waking up at 5:30 every single morning, and that's just the first thing. But the one thing that I've been lacking is sticking to a process from start to finish. It's like I have certain things ingrained in my day-to-day to where it facilitates me making progress, but when it comes to starting the day, I feel like that's where I've been lacking, because I tend to wake up whenever I feel like it to a degree, which is anywhere from 5 to like 6:30, and it always fluctuates. And I feel like since it's not set in stone and the process in which I get ready is not the same every day, it makes it to where I don't start off the day in an optimal way that puts me in the state of mind to accomplish goals. So for me, that means waking up at 5:30, getting ready within 30 minutes, and because I feel like the last few weeks for me, it's been taking me longer to get ready. I've been getting sidetracked, and that's just what I'm doing. Not that you guys need to do that, but you know, there's always something that we can be doing that's more optimal, that will lead to more results, will make us better. For me, that's what I identified and what I'm going to be working on. Waking up early every single day, even on the weekends, and making sure that I stick to a process in the morning that makes it to where I'm out the door in 30 minutes. And there's a lot more that I need to add, but start off small. Just figure out what needs to be changed right now that you know that you haven't been addressing, and then from there you can start to build more and more. As we all know, life is a never-ending cycle of trial and error, of learning more about yourself and the world, and how to properly live your life, what you should be focused on, and the list goes on. But one thing that I feel as though is a non-negotiable is trying to max out your character and creating the best version of yourself by reaching your genetic potential, or at least being on the pursuit, because that is how you guarantee you have the greatest impact on this world.